Yeah, he's got it, and that's Little Richard, who is coming to this country in about 2 weeks' time, and that's a record that Specialty have decided to put out as a 45 to help him on his way. Link Wray is in the studio here, and just before we talk to him, I'm going to play one of the more recent things that he recorded. I'm So Proud from Link Wray's LP Beans and Fatback, but I'm not sure if Link Wray is so proud about that one, huh? Welcome to the show, and the first thing you should do is tell us in some way how that came to be made, that record.
Oh, how you doing, Charlie? I really love your country, and I want to say that's really nice to be in England. Okay. Oh, well, actually, that was an interview tape, you know.
An interview tape?
Yeah, for Time magazine. Yeah, it wasn't even a recording, really. It was just one microphone stuck in the middle of the room in our shack. Our shack was smaller than the studio here, you know. It was a chicken coop, you know, and it was an interview tape first when we was Bill Bender from Time magazine, the editor of Time magazine, and all the Polydor staff was down there, and we played some football and got out and played basketball, you know, and he pulled off his suit, put on his cowboy hat, and got barefooted, you know, and so we just, you know, it was a gesture to get to go into the studio and jam some when the shack. So he took a cowbell and got in there and started playing the cowbell. He's on the album too, you know, and we got there and jammed, and it was suggested that my brother turn the tape on to give to Bill Bender to take home with him, you know, for coming down, interview him, you know. And
next thing you know, it's an LP.
Well, actually, it was presented to A&M first, you know, and they called me, you know. I didn't know I didn't know Virgin at the time, and A&M called me and said they had this LP that this producer wanted $25,000 for, and I told him, I said, don't buy it, you know, because it's not an album, you know. So.
So Virgin put it out here, and lots of people buy it. I think it's a nice record.
Oh, thank you.
That's the best thing about it. A record made in one evening.
That's.
And it's got.
Well, it was made in about I guess it was about half-hour jam, you know.
Okay, well, if the listeners are still interested, it's called Beans and Fatback, and it's on the Virgin label. But we're going to go back in time in a minute. But first, I just wanted to play a record which I think has a spirit of Link Wray, although it's nothing to do with him. It's by somebody called G.L. Crockett. G.L. Crockett, that is, who is a Chicago blues musician usually, but now he made a nice little rockabilly record called Look Out Mabel, which is on the Checker label, and you can get it from Moondog's record store. It's eventually going to be on the Chess Golden Decade series. You like that one?
Oh, yeah, man. It's got, like I was saying, it had a flavor of old Scotty Moore type thing.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, well, let's go back to the beginning, which I think starts for you in North Carolina, doesn't it? Is that right? Is that where you grew up?
Well, I grew up in North Carolina. Yeah, Rummel was dead in Washington, D.C., though.
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you produced it yourself, or how?
Yes, yeah, we went in the studio and recorded it, and this disc jockey like yourself presented it to Archie Blyer, and the rest became history.
Okay, well, let's just hear what history sounds like.
Yeah.
And that's Rumble by Link Wray, which was a hit in what year, Link?
This came out 1958.
And how did you get those weird sounds?
Oh, well, I used to experiment with sounds like, now you have a wah-wah pedal. I used to stick a rubber pipe, you know, from an amplifier to my mouth and get wah-wah sounds. And for this sound, I had an old Premier amplifier and with tweeters, you know, with a 12-inch speaker in the bottom and tweeters, little 8-inch tweeters on each side, and I used to punch little pinholes on them, you know, to get the fuzz sound.
Really? And that sort of reverb sound or whatever that is, it kind of make.
That was it was a tremolo. That was the first amplifier that had the vibrato, you know. And later on, then Fender and other amplifiers had them, but this amplifier called the Premier amplifier was the first one it had. That's the reason I got it, because it had the vibrator on it. You know?
And did they put it on in order for people to do what you did with it? Was that the idea?
I don't know why they put it on it, but I just bought it. I said, hey, that's a crazy sound, so I bought the amplifier, you know.
And did you know anything about Cadence Records when they put the record out? At the time they put it out?
No, I didn't know anything about Cadence. In fact, when I did the album, I just went and did the album as a demo, you know, to see what I sound like on tape, you know. And we was talking about the Cordettes at the time. This disc jockey I used to do record hops for. You know, we used to go out and, you know, he used to play records and then, you know, for kids to dance, and then I'd go on stage and play for about a half hour, you know, to break up the record thing, you know.
By yourself or with the band? With
the band, yeah. And I did at first at the record show, you know, I just made it up at this place in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and the kids liked it. They kept saying, you know, play that weird song, you know. And so I decided to go into the studio and lay it down on tape and see, you know, what the kids liked about it, you know. And Archie Blair came to town, and Milt Grant gave him the demo. He took it back to New York with him and threw it in his piles and forgot about it. And his daughter, you know, she heard it, and so they had a party, you know, and she gave it to him. She says, you know, I think you ought to put this out. So he put it out.
You were saying a little bit earlier that you felt he had a very systematic way of promoting records.
If he didn't believe anything, he turned down Roses Are Red. And it was I said, but Archie, that was a hit. He said, yeah, but I didn't believe in it. That's the kind of, you know, he was like I was telling you about Virgin. I mean, each individual single he worked on, you know, I mean, it was a very small label, you know, like Virgin's a small label, but it was really into his music. You know, in fact, he was Arthur Garfer's director, and he knew a lot about music, you know, just like Bernie Lowe. Bernie Lowe from Cameo Parkway was the same way. He was really into their music, you know.
And the artists that were on Cadence that we would know over here would be Andy Williams,
Everly Brothers, Lenny Welch, myself, and
Cordettes.
Yeah, Cordettes, and this guy that did
Julius La Rosa, no?
Yeah, Julius Rosa, that was earlier. This country singer, I forget his name now.
Johnny Tillotson.
Johnny Tillotson, yeah.
Right. They're all together. There's an album came out here, in fact, called Good, Bad, But Not Evil. And it was a whole compilation of all the stuff from that period on Cadence. Just came out here.
Oh, yeah?
It's a nice record, and it's got both sides of your single on it.
Beautiful.
So people should go and find that on the Janus label. So about how many singles? You made a whole album for Cadence?
No, I just made the single for Cadence. Like I said, you know, Archie worked on one thing at a time. And when we sold, when Milt actually acted as my manager after the album got sold on the record and became a smash hit, you know, and then Milt became my manager, but he was also a disc jockey. He was a TV, you know, had a record hop, you know, on TV every Saturday, you know, and he felt like he took me off of Cadence and put me on Epic, you know, and it was a whole year between Rumble and Rawhide. You know?
And not too many people heard Link Wray on Epic, really. I mean, it didn't seem to get promoted so much.
Well, Rawhide was a hit.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, Rawhide was a smash hit on Epic, but Epic became, you know, was like it was very early. You know, Epic now is a very big label, you know, and they have a lot of hits now. But when Rawhide was on Epic, Epic was just a throwaway label, you know, for Columbia, you know.
You were working with your brother this time, is that right?
Yes, Vernon Ray. Ray Vernon, which his name is Vernon Ray, but Bernie Lowe, who owned Cameo Parkway, changed his name around from Vernon Ray to Ray Vernon. Charlie Gracie, I think, was his first artist on Cameo, and my brother was the second artist in '57.
A little bit later, I think the two of you got together working as producers for Bunker Hill. Is that correct?
Well, Bunker Hill came into the studio. He sang with this black group. In fact, he's a black man, and he sang with this group called it was a religious group called the Mighty Clouds of Joy. It was a gospel group, you know, really big gospel group. And he came in and wanted to sell this song, and we said, well, let me hear the song, you know. So he gets in there and starts singing this song. I said, hey, man, let's turn on the tape. Let's let you do it. You know, he said, yeah, but he says, I don't think I can do it right. I said, don't tell me. So we got my brother on drums, and we got Bobby Howard, who is the kid I see on the record here. We got him, and we got a bunch of musicians around. And we did the record, and my brother sold it, and became a hit.
Amazing. Well, we'll play it. And if you've got any questions you want to ask Link, Paul Koish is on the phone here, 408-2033. Here's Bunker Hill, and you never heard a wilder record than this one.
The way you hide